Now, Caitlin Clark's politics does not align with the politics of many of her own fans. We don't care. We don't. All right? We don't. We want to watch her go out, play basketball, and throttle the shit out of everybody. All right? But the activist basketball players in the league hate her fan base. Look, they hated Iowa's fan base.
The WNBA just delivered a plot twist so bizarre, even Shonda Rhimes would ask for rewrites. Natasha Cloud racked up more All-Star votes than Caitlin Clark? Somebody cue the X-Files music because this smells like sabotage, spite, and a sprinkle of straight-up nonsense. Did gremlins hack the ballot box? Is there a secret anyone but Clark alliance in the league group chat? Buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the drama, the desperation, and the most blatant case of agenda pushing the WNBA has pulled yet. This isn't basketball, it's a reality show in high tops.
I have the exclusive list of the WNBA All-Star starters.
Okay. I voted, so I feel like I
you think you have a good indication.
Yeah.
I am the only one, by the way, that has seen this list.
Yeah. Whoa.
We already announced on WNBA Countdown that Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier are the captains, meaning they got the most fan votes, meaning they're going to draft their team on July 8th on WNBA Countdown on ESPN.
Congratulations to them, by the way.
9th among point guards. 9th. Not 6th. Not 5th. 9th. That's where the WNBA slotted Caitlin Clark in their little fantasy camp popularity rankings. Let's be honest, this isn't just disrespect, it's practically performance art. We're not talking shade anymore, we're talking full-blown eclipse. The envy's so heavy you'd need a forklift to move it. This isn't a ranking, it's a collective coping mechanism from players still mad they're playing, to folding chairs while Clark's out here packing stadiums like a pop star on tour. Call it what it is. Insecurity dressed up as evaluation.
I've said this again and again. Caitlin Clark is must-see TV. Caitlin Clark already is having Michael Jordan effect on the WNBA. The same effect Michael Jordan had in his first couple of years in the NBA. He was can't miss TV. Every place he went, people went crazier and crazier for Air Jordan.
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark could drop a 30-point triple-double while walking on water, and the WNBA committee would still give her a nice try ribbon and crown her most likely to blink during warm-ups. Meanwhile, players whose main contribution is throwing elbows like it's dodgeball are ranked higher because toughness apparently trumps actual skill now. What we're watching isn't evaluation, it's ego management. It's Mean Girls with sneakers, where the quiet superstar gets side-side while the clique applauds themselves for shutting her out. Caitlin's just trying to hoop, but the league? It's busy rewriting the rules to trip her up.
Caitlin Clark, a.k.a. White Jesus, a.k.a. Jesus Clark, a.k.a. Captain Clark, is a two-time WNBA All-Star and has been announced as the WNBA captain. Speaking of WNBA All-Stars, these women hate Caitlin Clark, White Jesus Captain Clark. These women in these league, or whatever they go by, whatever their pronouns are, hate White Jesus.
And you can feel it. The burnout isn't coming from Caitlin Clark. It's radiating off the rest of the league, struggling to act like she's not the one holding the WNBA together with logo threes and sold-out arenas. They're not tired from defense. They're drained from the non-stop charade of pretending they were drawing this kind of attention before she showed up. These athletes have moonlighted as thespians, starring in the off-Broadway hit We Were Always This Popular. Go ahead and hand out the Emmys. These performances deserve something.
At forward, an all-star shoe-in, a league MVP. Asia Wilson, a league MVP who always brings the heat. Congratulations to Asia Wilson.
Yes, she brings the heat. Bam!
No surprise here. All right.
Now, see, y'all. Okay.
Yeah. You see what we're doing here?
Okay.
You ready? 1 point for Drea. At guard, A 3-time All-Star whose career numbers are making her team a threat to win a title.
Bro, you're so bad at this.
You guys know it takes me a
You're so bad
while
at
to
this.
compute.
Alicia Gray,
I might get swept.
congratulations.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe and type CC 100% in comments below. Now, let's address the absolute circus of Caitlyn being rated beneath point guards who are barely Googleable. Like, if you need a scavenger hunt and 3 Wikipedia rabbit holes to figure out who's ranked above her, you've got a problem. This isn't evaluation, it's vengeance with a side of delusion. Some of these folks couldn't pass a spotlight if it were wide open in the paint, but sure, let's pretend Caitlyn's the liability. And can we just say it? At this point, the NBA commissioner needs to go full Thanos, snap the WNBA into dust, and build a new league from scratch. One where merit actually matters, where marketability isn't treated like a crime, and where success doesn't get punished with an ice bath of silent treatment and side eyes. Create the CCBA, Caitlin Clark Basketball Association. Because clearly the existing one is allergic to progress. The WNBA keeps screaming they want fans, coverage, money, respect. Caitlyn gives them all 4 wrapped in gold foil with a bow, and they respond like she keyed their car. If this league were a relationship, it'd be the clingy ex who begs for attention, then blocks your number the minute you answer. It's baffling, tragic, and hilarious. Mostly hilarious, because the unintentional comedy is off the charts.
Caitlin Clark was named All-Star Captain. Why didn't they just make the whole WNBA captain and say everyone is an All-Star captain? Yo, she's never going to live that down. Wow. Whew. Jesus. How Clark make it with mediocre stats and an 8-8 record? I get making the team captain, but captain? LOL. Collier deserve it, though. She been killing. CC, most overrated player of all time. All sports combined. Clark shoots under 40%, by the way. This one says, I hope none of the players show up to the WNBA All-Star game in protest, to be honest.
Every time she scores, you can hear a player ranking adjust itself out of sheer bitterness. She makes a 3, and somewhere a clipboard gets snapped in half. She signs a sneaker deal, and someone calls their therapist. She breathes too loud, and suddenly she's not a real point guard. It's all too transparent. The WNBA could have ridden the wave. Instead, they're out here trying to drown the one person who brought the ocean. This isn't just jealousy. This is industrial-grade, vacuum-sealed jealousy with Wi-Fi. The kind that sits up at night doom-scrolling Caitlyn highlights while muttering, "But she's not that good." It's the kind that forms burner accounts and ranks her 9th just to sleep at night. They'd rather lose together than win behind her. That's not loyalty to the league. It's sabotage in sneakers. And here's the scary part. She's still standing, still dropping dimes, still playing chess while the rest of the league plays dodgeball. But for how long? Because with the number of uncalled, cheap shots and full command meetups she's absorbing on a nightly basis, it feels less like a basketball season and more like a gladiator audition. If this keeps up, Caitlyn might have to sub out for a suit of armor. Maybe then she'll get a foul call.
How do you feel about the WNBA players bashing Caitlin Clark?
Okay, so I'm going to state some facts here and not opinions because this is a controversial topic for some crazy reason. The WNBA is a subsidized league. What it means subsidized means is that the NBA basically gives their money so the WNBA could exist because the WNBA does not produce any revenue.
They lose money, actually.
They lose money. Okay, so Caitlin Clark, a generational women's basketball player, finally comes around where people are like, oh my God, this girl is amazing. She gets drafted. She's putting up crazy numbers. She's entertaining. Ticket sales.
It makes you think. Maybe she should pull a reverse Uno on the WNBA and hop on the first jet to Europe. Imagine her in Spain or Italy, living her best life, draining threes while sipping espresso on the bench, while the WNBA is left trying to market the gritty intensity of players you've never heard of. Meanwhile, Europe's throwing her parades, sculpting statues, and not trying to body check her into retirement. It's ironic, isn't it? The WNBA claims to be about growing the game, But when Caitlin Clark fertilized the soil and made it bloom, they started pulling weeds with her name on them. It's like planting a tree then being mad it produced fruit. And that fruit? Ticket sales, media attention, ratings, merchandise, entire demographics watching for the first time. But sure, let's keep pretending the league's heartbeat isn't spelled C-L-A-R-K. The league is so terrified of her power, they've basically built a Hunger Games arena just for her. Except instead of arrows and swords, it's veteran leadership and earning your stripes. Translation, we don't like that you're better than us and younger, so here's some elbows and no respect. It's not hazing anymore, it's career sabotage dressed up as tradition. This ranking nonsense isn't just insulting, it's self-destructive.
These people, and by people I'm talking about these players, in this basketball league, and I'm talking about the WNBA, when they tell you who they are, believe them. How many times have you heard me say over the last 19 or 20 months that this is an activist basketball league? All right? There's going to be subscribers that watch this video. They're going to be upset because, oh my God, I brought up politics. Unfortunately, this is, I've said, this is all about politics, and it has been.
When you rank your biggest draw behind 8 less productive players, you're not protecting the league, you're lighting the foundation on fire. What are fans supposed to think? That the best player isn't good enough for your top 5? That competence is threatening? That it's more important to defend egos than recognize excellence? Because that's the message, loud and clear, and the fans know. They see the bias, they see the intentional snubs. They're not stupid. They're showing up for one reason, and it isn't to watch some 9th-ranked performance from a point guard who's objectively carrying the weight of the WNBA's entire financial hopes on her back. They didn't buy season tickets to see passive-aggressive politics. They came for Caitlin, plain and simple. But here's the kicker. Caitlin doesn't need this league. She chose this league. And they've responded by treating her like she snuck in through the back door. It's almost impressive how many bad decisions can be made so quickly. This isn't gatekeeping anymore. It's setting the whole neighborhood on fire because one new person moved in with better furniture. So now what? Do we keep pretending the rankings mean something? Do we continue acting like being 9th is somehow noble when it's clearly a protest vote in disguise? Or do we finally admit that the league's obsession with humbling Caitlin is only humbling themselves?
Caitlin Clark had another, whatever you want to call it, confrontation in a WNBA game. Like, why is this happening? The Caitlin Clark phenomenon is one that I got wrong. I never really thought that Caitlin Clark would make the difference that she has in college basketball or in the WNBA. What other sports analogies are out there that are in any way similar to the impact that one individual has had on a larger sporting universe?
Because unless something changes fast, she won't be around long enough for them to realize what they lost. If Europe doesn't come calling, the NBA might. At this point, the men's league is showing more appreciation for her than her own. Maybe throw her in the all-star celebrity game and watch the world combust. Because if this league won't protect her, rank her fairly, or promote her without resentment, then honestly, what exactly are they doing besides proving they're not ready for greatness when it stares them in the face? 9th, that ranking doesn't expose Caitlin, it exposes them. That's exactly what's going to happen. And the truth is, Fever fans brought homemade scissors to a knife fight. Voting for anyone else on that all-star ballot was like packing snacks for your own robbery. These other players have been side-eyeing Caitlin like she just walked into their family reunion uninvited, and yet her own fan base handed them votes like party favors. Let's be real. This wasn't an election. This was survival. You either voted Clark or you voted to keep the nonsense going. Every single well-rounded vote that wasn't for Caitlyn just gave more power to the very people who would love nothing more than to watch her roll her ankle and vanish from the league.
Brings all this money to the league. Also, she turned down a contract in the Big Three, making millions of dollars to go make $75,000 a year in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Okay? Now you go on ESPN and all these things, and all these, her peers in the WNBA are trashing her and demeaning her, saying, oh, why is she getting all this attention? She's better than you. Like, I don't understand, like, why, like, facts and opinion, like, this is not an opinion. Caitlin Clark's putting up better numbers than you guys ever did, and she's bringing the league attention, which is great for all the women coming up in the world that want to play basketball, that want to have a life and create a life for themselves by being a professional athlete, because women deserve that. So now you're going to turn around and you're going to try to beat her up on the court, and you're going to try to trash her on social media, and you're going to try to trash her on, like, live TV. Come on. You guys need to do a little bit better.
She is super entertaining to watch, I'll tell you.
And yet, some fans were out here casting ballots like it was prom court. Cute, naive, disastrous. You can't play nice in a league that treats your star like a piñata with legs. This isn't about being fair. This is about survival. When someone drops 30 and gets fewer foul calls than a WWE match, the time for political correctness has passed. Voting for teammates? Teammates who treat her like she's the weird exchange student from Iowa who dared to steal the spotlight? Nah, this ain't middle school soccer. It's the WNBA. Sort of. And the best part? Those same players who got fan votes thanks to Clark's popularity are the ones lined up to ice her ankles and shrug when the media asks if they respect her game. Spoiler, they don't. They'll take the votes, the bonus checks, the attention, and still whisper behind her back that she's overrated. They want the spotlight without the wattage, they want the paycheck without the paparazzi, and they'll gladly use Clark's rocket fuel to get there, then leave her stranded the moment she burns too bright. Fever fans, wake up. There's no participation ribbon for being the most supportive fan base.
In the league. This was one of the more frustrating things I saw yesterday, because there comes a point to me when thinking about Caitlin Clark being ranked as the 9th best guard in the league by her peers. It is either delusion or it is jealousy. Because when you watch Caitlin Clark play the game of basketball, they don't treat her like she's the 9th best guard. They don't pick her up full court like she's the 9th best guard. They don't blitz her after she crosses half court like she's the 9th best guard. They don't double team her like she's the 9th best guard. They don't foul her as though she's the 9th best guard. So to rank her as the 9th best guard leads me to believe it is either delusion or it is jealousy. That's what I'm led to believe. I can't suggest that it is, and I'm not speaking about an individual WNBA player. I'm speaking about the WNBA players, because how in the world do you vote her as the 9th best guard, though you treat her as the best, the 2nd best, or as worst, 3rd best guard?
This isn't about being classy. This is about protecting the one person giving your team national relevance. You don't see Aces fans handing out sympathy votes to their rivals. You don't see Liberty fans saying, oh, let's be fair and vote for everyone. No, they ride for their own because they know the game. You either play politics or get played by politics. And let's not even get started on this idea that Caitlyn should be some kind of sacrificial lamb in the next CBA negotiations. Don't toss her into your fight and then trip her during the march. Imagine being snubbed by half the league, disrespected by veterans, tackled on national TV, and then being told, hey girl, can you also help us fight for better wages? The audacity is Olympic level. They want her at the negotiating table, but not at the top of the rankings. They want her name on the agenda, but not on the MVP list. They want her voice, not her victory. It's giving leeches with attitude.
She was ranked 1st by the fans, which makes sense. She was ranked number 3 by the media, which kind of makes sense. Anywhere between the 1, 2, or 3rd, that's fine. And then she was ranked 9th by the players. And it's just so funny. 9th rated player for a guard, but 1st in schemes, 1st in being face guard, 1st in being guarded 90 feet, 1st in blitzes, the most schemed basketball player in the WNBA, but somehow she is ranked number 9 for best guards in the WNBA. It's laughable.
Let's make it crystal clear. Clark owes these women nothing. Not a vote, not a favor, not a seat at her table. Especially when half of them would rather her sit on the floor. This league has done everything short of issuing a restraining order against her stardom, and yet they want her to unify the locker room and fight for league reform? Please. There's no prize for being nice in a rigged system. The only game that matters is the one being played on and off the court, and it's dirty, political, and downright ridiculous. So, moving forward, it's one rule. Vote Clark. That's it. No mercy ballots. No, but I like her too detours. Vote like your team's dignity depends on it. Because it does. Every other vote is a wasted effort, a courtesy extended to players who don't offer the same in return. You think they're out there voting for Clark out of gratitude? They're probably still arguing she shouldn't have been drafted until the second round.
Jesus, the league and these women in this league has shown white Jesus that they don't like her. That they don't like her, okay? A lot of hating going on in this league. A lot of hating going on in this league, okay? Melissa Smith has humped her way right to Vegas, all right? Sweep, sweep, sweepity, sweepity, sweep. It's been a few sweeps that didn't happen today across the league.
It's like feeding a bear and wondering why it ate your tent. These players don't want your kindness. They want your platform. They want to prop themselves up on Caitlyn's back and act like it's a group effort. Spoiler alert, it's not. One player is selling jerseys, one player is bringing ESPN trucks to empty arenas. One player is the reason your team isn't just a local secret. Her name is not Natasha, Alyssa, or Iarke. Her name is Caitlyn, and she should be your only priority on that ballot. Anything less is handing ammo to people who'd happily see her fail just to prove a bitter point. So Fever fans, next time you get that ballot in your hands, remember, this isn't a group hug. It's a war. And your general is out there taking hits, carrying the league, and still getting rated like she's a footnote. Vote accordingly. Forget team spirit. Forget unity. Vote for the player who's actually playing. At an elite level, under attack, with zero support from the people cashing in on her presence. Stop giving them free PR. Stop pretending there's loyalty in this league when there clearly isn't. Vote Clark, only Clark, and nothing but Clark. Because the rest? They already made their choice. If you enjoyed leaving a like and subscribing, more videos are on the screen now.